This is 4th grade Excel, lesson 42. Thank you for joining me today. This is your teacher, Mr. Bedley. And I just want to let you know right off the bat that at one point in time during this lesson, I am going to ask you to be drawing something, a secret symbol on your math lesson to show that you are listening to the whole lesson. So make sure that you pay attention throughout this entire lesson, that you listen to the whole thing. Not only for the secret symbol, but this is really important that you understand what's in this lesson. And you'll notice just by glancing at what you have on your Excel paper there that there's no problems for you to actually do yourself. But without really paying attention to the lesson today, you're not going to understand the math. You're going to get behind on the math, and your life is going to be a lot more frustrating because of that. So really tune into it and make sure that you learn this as we go. Now, before we get started, I want to ask you or tell you a little joke here. I'll have the answer to the joke at the end of the video. Why did the chicken cross the playground? Why did the chicken cross the playground? So anyway, here we go with today's math lesson on dividing a one-digit divisor into a three-digit dividend with a two-digit quotient. No regrouping or remainders. Now, what does all that mean? First of all, we're dividing a one-digit divisor. This is called the divisor right there. That's the number that the big number is being split into. Normally it's a big number, it doesn't have to be, but, and then we are seeing what happens when we divide a one-digit divisor into a three-digit dividend. This is the dividend right there, 124 in this case. It's called a dividend, and it's made up out of three digits, the digits 1, 2, and 4, with a two-digit quotient. Now, a quotient is the answer to a division problem. You need to know this vocabulary. You need to know the word divisor, which is what we're dividing by, a dividend, which is the number that we start with in a division problem, and the quotient, which is the answer. And it says that there's no regrouping or remainders. And you'll see what that means as we go through this problem. So here's a sample problem for you, or a problem to explain what it means to divide a number, a large number like this. So we have again the number 124 divided by 2. That can be represented using base 10 blocks, as you see here. We have 100, that's what that big piece right there is. There's actually 100 little tiny squares all over that. And then we have the number 20, which is this part right here, 2 strips of 10 each. And then we have the number 4. So you can see that's represented by the number 124, or I should say that's the base 10 blocks representing the number 124. Now what we're going to do is we're going to first of all take the 120 and break that up into, like, each one of these becomes a 10 strip, just like these are here. So we've got 10 of those right here and 2 more here. So we've got 12 altogether, which makes 120, right? 12 times 10 is 120. And if we take those 12 10 strips and split them in half, we get 6 in each group. We're dividing the 120 into 2 groups, and 120 divided by 2 is equal to 60. You can see we have 60 in this group and 60 in that group. 2 60s makes 120. All right, at this point in time, just to make sure you're, well, no, we'll do that a little bit later. Keep paying attention. All right, and then we have to split up the 4, and so they show you doing the problem here. Here's 120. That's not the number 12. That's 120 because this is in the hundreds place and that's in the tens place. 120 divided by 2 is equal to a 6 in the tens place. See, that's in the tens place, or 60. 120 divided by 2 is 60. So they wrote that right up here. And then what we did here is wrote down what 60 times 2 is, which is 120, but that's in the hundreds place and the tens place, so that's 120. We could put a 0 out there also, but we don't have to do that. And then we subtract 120 minus 120 gets us 0, and then we're bringing the 4 down to see what 4 is divided by 2. And over here you can see they took 4 and divided that by 2, which is equal to 2, because there's 2 in each group. Okay, before I go any further, I want you to draw a little flower on the bottom right corner of your page down there. I want you to draw a little flower down there to show that you're paying attention. If you don't have that flower, tomorrow we'll know that you weren't paying attention to the lesson, and you won't be getting a stamp for homework completion or assignment completion. All right, so the answer then comes out to be 62, and then we can check that to see, doing the inverse operation, 62 times 2 is 124. 124 is the number we started with. Our quotient, or our answer, which is 2 digits, like we talked about in the introduction, is 62, and we multiply that by our divisor. 62 times 2 is 124, and so that's what I get for my answer. And the answer to the riddle of why did the chicken cross the playground? It crossed the playground to get to the other slide.